Yeah, bright life at your live. Mate, you see my eyes, man. Yeah, shit looking real hazily. I don't even know what that word is, but it's like, you feel me? It's like reddish, but not quite red yet. Daisiest, feel me? It got the little seductive, you feel me? Tiredness to it. I still gotta be awake and vigilant and everything else like that, cause there's a lot of people who are jealous of me and shit like that. So, you know, I know I say that all the time, but it's true. They jealous of me, so they trying to set the boy up in so many different ways. I gotta watch this, we gotta watch that. You even gotta watch what you drink, just in case you don't get intoxicated too much, so they can't turn around and blame you for something that they set up on you. You feel me? Shit like that, man. But May 20th, 2022, you feel me? Just trying to be honest, that's all. Trying to keep an honest living. Anyway. Fuck California walk right now. They're not used to this. I had to come out here and show them niggas how to walk, because they used to ride in cars, low riders and everything else. They see me walking on a sidewalk that hasn't been walked on before. They're like, where that boy go? What the fuck? That nigga walking? He walk, cuz. Cuz walking. Yeah, but let me stop. People do walk out here, don't get twisted, but it's like they make it seem like me walking. Anyway, let's go to the subject. ManKind. You feel me? And God made everything in his own kind. You feel me? Kind. Like, kind is something that's similar to you. So if God made everything in his own kind, which meaning every living thing that you see has a kind to it. It didn't have to make two goats. It didn't, let it pass. It didn't have to make two kind of chickens. It didn't have to make two mammals. No, there's a kind that everything derives from. There's a mankind. So we are kind of a man. The kind of man that we came from. That's our ancestors. Just like dogs have a kind of a dog. They came from that particular dog itself. And this is how God created things, you feel me? He created a kind where each individual animal came from. Although there is diversity within the human race itself, our kind, we can always have offspring with your own kind, regardless of how diverse you became. Let's take a look at what I was looking at last night, which is the bear itself. If you take a look at the bear is native to North Africa, but yet there's not even one living bear in North Africa to this day. But yet you have bears all over the place. You got panda, you got grizzly bear, you got the polar bear, you got the black bear, you got the brown bear. But they all came from one bear, which is a bear kind. And they all migrated or mutated in different forms to be what they are today in every other part of the continent or part of the planet itself. Fuck continent. Part of the planet itself. There is a kind to everything. Even horses, as I was looking at. Zebras are horses too. They just mutated into zebras because of survival things, because to survive from flies that bite them. Horses also mutated into other horses. But there's a kind that all these horses came from. Just one kind. Maybe that kind became another kind, but it has a kind. Now let's take a look at dogs. You have a dog, you have a coyote, you have a wolf, you have all these kind of dogs. All these dogs can have intercourse with each other, and they will have offsprings with each other. You feel me? Cats, lion, a regular cat, a tiger, all these other cats like lion, leopards, and all these other cats. They all have a kind to them, and they can, let it pass, and they can also have offsprings with each other, although they are different cats, but they have a kind to them. You feel me? Because God made things in a kind. Like, he didn't have to create all these diversity. All those things take foot of their own. He didn't have to. All he did was just create one that has enough answers within it. The possibility of anything that can happen is within that kind itself. And that kind can diverse or mutate it in so many different form or shape. But all he did was just put one on it. That's all he did. You feel me? And that one can split itself and become two of himself. Let it pass by. And the one can split itself just like Adam itself. All he did was created one Adam. And what happened? Eve came out of Adam. Then after that, Adam and Eve had. Then you see the diversity of different kinds. But it's written in the Bible already, and this is what science is also saying. It's a kind. You feel me? It's something that's similar. But the possibility of that one kind, is what you see in this diversity of things. You feel me? And this is what we call the human race itself. We have a race where we also came from Neanderthals and everything else. These are kinds of humans. And the possibility of it, we just came into being right now. But it's also another version of us that hasn't come into play yet. As we evolve and more mutation continue to happen. So we are part of a kind too. You heard? That's what they call us mankind, because we are kind of a man. Or we are men similar. We similar to the man that we came from. Maybe we don't look quite feature-wise, but we are the same because we are just a different version of it. We just a different cell of it. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me see my time. Yeah, we can still go in a little bit for like 3 more minutes. Don't be, they mad right now. Just like trees itself, there's a kind to a tree where all trees came from. It could be, you know what I mean? And they diversify into different form of trees and different form of seeds, but then they started growing partially on its own. This is where quantum physics and epigenetics come into form, because epigenetics said the control above the gene, which meaning that whatever you put, let's take a look at the polar bear, as I was saying earlier. There was a bear at one point. There was no such thing as a polar bear, but a black bear was taken to somewhere very cold, a cold climate, and later on that black bear transformed. It became bigger than what it was because it needed a body mass to survive that kind of environment, and it became whiter because it needed to blend in with that environment so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. It needed to camouflage with its environment. That's why it became white to its environment, because it's nothing but snow. So that is epigenetics itself. Epigenetics means control above the gene, which meaning the environment will activate genes that's already in you, and the proteins get created to make who you are so you can survive in that environment. That's the same thing with us too. This is the reason why you have so many different forms of human likes. You feel me? You have one in this island, one from this island, one from that island. It doesn't make you, a polar bear is not going to look at another bear and tell that bear, well, I'm not you, nigga, I'm white, and you happen to be brown, or you happen to be grizzly. We humans, as intelligent as we are, will laugh at the polar bear for making that comparison. Just like a supreme being will laugh at us for making such comparison between us. It's laughable. You feel me? But yet we believe it so strongly. Nah, look at my head. Look at my toe. No, nigga. We are the same people. Your ancestors just grew up in a different environment and you had no choice. Because how can you even have a choice? You are kind of a man. You're just a possibility of it. That's all. You're just an expression. That's all. You part of a series of things. Don't fuck it up. But they really think they're different from everybody. I'm like, no, we all came from a kind of a man. And that kind of a man is a black man, believe it or not, blacker than me, if I have to tell you that. And the possibility of its color is the shade that every other man carries. You feel me? It's a spectrum. It's a possibility of it all. You feel me? And at the end of it, in this lifetime, is white folks. You feel me? It's going to get whiter, according to my theories, but I don't have no proof of that, so I'm gonna keep it to myself. Anyway, but as you can see, the kind of a man itself, the one that God created itself, right? Just like a leopard. There's no jaguars in Africa, as I was doing the research yesterday. The reason why there's no jaguars in Africa, because if you put a jaguar in Africa, it will eventually evolve into a leopard. Just like if you put a leopard in South America, it will eventually evolve into a jaguar. You understand? That's how it goes. If you that is just like birth citizenship. If you bring an African woman here and she have a birth in America, guess what happened? That baby's an American because she was born here. You feel me? That's the same thing with nature itself. That's the same thing with nature. If you put the animal over there, in a few hundred years, the animal will transform and become a new form of animal to that land itself. You can't put a polar bear in Africa. It's too hot. It will either die off or it will transform back into its original form, which is a regular black bear. Remember, all bears were native to Africa, but today there's no bear native to Africa in today's time. Why? It could be due to, it could be due to a lot of things. But as the bears moved across the continent and everything else, each place that they've been in for a while, they migrate or mutate into that land itself and become who they are. This is the reason why Asians look the way they look. This is the reason why white people look the way they look. This is the reason why Africans look the way we're Africans. We started it all. So this is the reason why the rest of the world look the way they look. Because guess what? Because of mutation. Wherever you are, the environment will have control over your gene. But I'll leave you with a little hope. Your environment and your nutrients, of course, is what will have control over your genes. But what has control over your environment and your nutriments is your mind itself. Your mind is greater than the environment that you're in. So if your mind is greater than that. So you have to activate that part of your mind and be greater and think greater, and you can have control over the environment, and you can have control over your nutriments, and you can have control over your gene itself. Your mind have control over all of those.